I got you, Lori. There it is. All right. When you've created a single hydrogen element, all right, using two wires. You've created another set of two wires to create two hydrogen, H2, all right? Let me put this in.
Hydrogen and one oxygen.
And then you make one that's got 8 loops in it, okay? That creates oxygen, the energy of oxygen, okay? That's how you create the individual elements using infinity. Now, because this wire right here is already nano-coated, okay,
When you say it's nano-coated already.
it's been dipped in the black water, okay, the charcoal water,
Okay.
okay? That's what I
Natural
mean
caustic.
by, yeah, it's the natural caustic.
The lye, yeah.
No lye. Well, yes, it is, but this is activated charcoal, all right,
Yeah.
which is the purest form of carbon. Okay.
Right.
Now, we want a gravitational unit, right? Okay. I gotta bend this one on my left over. Okay. We want a gravitational unit for water, and we're going to create oxygen. Okay. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. All right. There's, as long as you keep the bent end in the left side when you're finished, okay, you don't have to connect the center, or you don't have to connect the ends first. All right. I just showed you that how you can create the energy field right off the bat by twisting those two wires together. Okay. The outer excess energy field. Now, I'm going to show you how I use the like I use different pins, not different pins, but the same size pins to create loops. And let's see here.
Man, the mountain is just full of mist over by me, man. Crazy today.
Mother Nature is rattling my walls again.
Yeah, the you can't see it in the camera, but the actual clouds is coming right for the house.
It's a good thing. Rain resets the nitrogen, or
it's raining right now. It just started raining.
All right. Now, what I'm doing is I have not connected the two ends together. All right. I'm just holding them together right here so that I can get the right spacing. All right. And the right curvature. All right. You see, I'm just pulling it apart and I'm making it so that they're parallel to each other. I have two field interactions. You can see two wires there. Okay. Disregard the bend in the wire. Okay. It doesn't matter. Every time you bend this wire back on itself, okay, you're creating an energy field in between them, no matter how big or how small, okay? So what I do is I would take the pin and I will pull it tight so I get a nice curve around the pin, okay? When I'm making the 8s, okay, again, it's right over left, all right, it's left over right to get gravitational when you're working from the opposite end, okay? From the closed end where you're making the bend, all right? You will hear me refer to this as the closed end or the positive end, okay? Or the blue end, the rounded bent end, okay? They all mean the exact same thing, okay? Eventually, you're going to get down to where it's red or blue, positive or negative, okay? Gravitational and magnetical. Do you want it to attract or do you want it to repel, okay? But for water purposes, we're trying to attract the element of oxygen, okay? So when you're looking at it, okay, the wires are going to cross over in the center here, okay? The one in your left hand becomes the gravitational one, so it's got to go over the top of the one on the right, okay? And you're just going to pinch it over, okay? Then I take another pin and I stack it, okay? And I hold them together, and I do just the opposite. If this one went over the top the first time, it goes on the bottom the next time, okay? And that's all you're doing is alternating, okay? This isn't very difficult at all, okay? And then after the 3, you don't have to make identical perfect circles, all right? You just need the shape of the circle. Okay, so the top one was over, or first one was over, second was under, and then you start to see a pattern. All right, and you become aware of this pattern. Okay, and you can straighten these out, make them look pretty, do whatever you want. Okay, but I always use the pen spacers, and I finish. Okay, so it's not difficult. All right. As long as you keep the flow pattern of over and under, you will create a gravitational energy field, okay? That will attract the element of oxygen. Some of you might be aware of the video that Alex put out, okay, where he created blue water off of the 8 infinity loop, okay, because he understood what the GANs of water was, okay? That blue water is like, it's got the same conditions as the ozone layer, the color of the sky, okay? You see how simple this is for me, all right? It may not be that simple for you, but don't worry about it. It takes practice. I've been doing this for a year, guys, okay? Meticulous and slow will always be your friend. All right, remember, you always keep the source energy side or the bent energy size in your left hand when you close your infinity, okay? Whether it's the very beginning time or the very end, all right? When you close that infinity, okay, you decide what energy field you want to create. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need one more. Okay, and this will create 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that ends it on your left side.
Okay.
Nice. It's
All
not so
right.
difficult.
And this is the way it would look at the end. Okay. You would always put whenever you look at something and you hold it out in front of you, okay, you want the source side to be on the left. Okay. And you hold it out in front of you because energy flows at 12 o'clock. All right. From our perception. So if you think of a clock, okay, it's going to go from the center to the 12 o'clock position, okay, the number 12, and then it's going to move to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? That's the way it's going to appear to us, all right? And that's what you need to replicate is the way it appears to us so that we get the actual atom, the matter form, okay? You can't replicate the way it looks to the light because to the light, it's all energy. Okay, so we've got to convert back from light energy, which is this, back into matter. All right, and what we're doing is we've just created oxygen. Okay, I'll twist it together. Okay, you see I'm actually holding it in my left hand, okay, or my right hand here, and I needed to twist the opposite direction. Okay, so if I'm holding the closed end in my left hand, I need to twist the ends of the wire to keep it gravitational, counterclockwise or to the left, okay? That's why I'm always trying to tell you to keep it in the right-hand side. Usually I've got a drill taking care of all of this stuff, okay? So I'm trying to break it down and simplify it as much as I can. But you've created a number 8 on your infinity device, okay? When you connect these ends together, whether you connect it in series, okay, like your plasma capacitors, okay, the source side is your positive side. It's the red side. if you're going to plug this into an electronic device of any kind that runs electricity, this end needs to go on the positive, okay? The red.
You got a question in there, Mike, asking how many twists per circle you're doing. It's just you're just twisting once per circle, right?
Just once, okay? I'm just making the infinity 8 symbol. All right, that's all I'm doing here. We're just replicating circles, guys. Okay.
Okay. Listo.
We're stacking them.
Buen día. Gracias. Buen día. Ok, listo. ¿Hasta hoy o hasta mañana? Yo voy a. No, mira, muy buena cuando. Yo mucha, como feliz cuando yo hacer esta tarjeta primera en mi vida. Yo hacer y pienso. Y 5 minutos. No conecta porque yo pienso, trabajo, no trabajo, después conecto. Trabajo yo muchas veces porque primera tarjeta y una vez trabajo, pero... Ahora puede hacer los drones. Con tarjeta puede hacer drones. Sí, no, ahorita 5 milímetros. 5
I think you need to mute out for them there.
Are we asking a question? Or are we talking in the background?
Not sure.
Sí, ok. Hasta luego. Que pase bien. Buen día.
Maybe he's explaining a little bit clear. Can somebody explain to me what just happened, or is it just somebody's open?
Mucho feliz, dicen.
I think our Spanish-speaking brothers are explaining to one another what's going on a little bit clearer there. Maybe
Okay.
do it in the chat, and then the teaching can carry on.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a double hydrogen, okay, or a double neutrino. So you can create a single hydrogen with this if you wanted, okay. And it's doing it the exact same way, all right, except there are 3. Okay, there are 3 loops in here.
Mike, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Some of our Spanish-speaking friends are asking there if you can just repeat the process again, because I don't.
All right, I'm going to repeat it with the hydrogen. Okay.
But before you repeat it, we want to let everybody know that while you're explaining that they mute their mic, because there's sound in the background. It's kind of like muffling you a bit. So everybody, can you please mute your mic while he explains, please?
Sí, todo silencio en el micrófono, por favor.
All right,
Gracias.
I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to mute all the audio that I can see. Okay. I don't know. I caught that it's not banned. Anyway, that's good. Okay. You can make all of your elements the same way. Okay. All we're doing is stacking neutrinos, guys. Come on. Okay. We're stacking these neutrinos. How many figure eights can you see here? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then when you close your loop up, okay, you create 8. Okay, that's why we always do the +1 when we're figuring things out, is because we want to do, there's 8 circles in here, all right? But there are 7 neutrinos that are stacked on each other, okay? And when you close it up, you create oxygen after, once you've closed it, okay? I'm going to, we're going to create a hydrogen, a double hydrogen, or a 1 hydrogen element, okay, using a single wire that you're going to manipulate the fields, okay? I'm bending the one over on the left. Mother Nature says hi again. She approves. Okay, so my left side is once again bent. I know it's really difficult. Okay. All right, it's bent over. That's the source side. Okay. And
So
now,
Mike, just
all
to
I'm gonna
be
do,
clear for those guys, you're creating which element you want at this point, right?
yes, you're creating the individual elements of a molecule.
So right now you're looking for hydrogen, right?
Yes, we're creating the hydrogen element right here.
So you're correlating the number of loops to create the number on the atomic, on the periodic table, right?
That is correct.
Okay, I just want to make it clear because I know those guys are struggling a bit to keep up.
Well, keep going because you're bringing that balance that's needed here.
Nice. Okay, I think that's clear now. So you're twisting wire to try and create the number that represents the which element you're looking for in the periodic table. Is that clear with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So far, we've created oxygen. All right. And now we're going to create hydrogen the same way. Okay. We want to attract it. So again, we want to do the right over left. Okay. If you're going to close it first. All right. In this case, because we need two hydrogen elements, we don't need two single wires. Okay. All we need to do is bend it like the quad core. Okay. Bend it like the quad core so there is two circles, okay? Two field interactions, and it looks like a horseshoe, okay? And then you're going to smash or pull these apart, okay? And I use usually 2 pins, okay?
Did you cut the wire in any specific length?
Nope, I absolutely do not measure the wire myself, okay? Everything is all done by trial and error. If I have excess wire, I always add it into my designs because wire that's nano-coated is surface area for absorbing energy, okay? Now, if you're conserving wire, then yeah, you might want to measure, okay? But most people aren't when they get a spool of 200, 200 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's referring to some people using like sacred numbers, like 9.
yeah,
144 and these different numbers. But that's in the interactions.
A nice way to do it, if you want to keep your codes personal, is work on the qubit lengths, which is go by your fingertip to your fingertip, right? And then that's personal. No one else has got that. That's your coding, you know?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I've done is I've just taken this double loop that I've got here, okay, and I put 2 pins between it. Okay. Remember, a half twist, okay, creates a neutrino, okay, or the figure 8. God, this video is sucking, guys. I'm so sorry. All right.
Are you able to zoom in?
I can put my hand closer.
Perfect.
Sure, if I can get my fat fingers out of the way. All right, don't worry about that extra wire on the left there, okay, because you're going to close it up, all right? But the shape that you want there, and you want to twist it to the right, okay? You got to hold the ends. Remember, hold the ends in your left hand, okay? And you're going to twist it to the right, another half turn, okay? You do 3 half turns, okay? And I use pins because when I line the pins up right here, okay, that tells me that I'm at a half twist, okay? And so I create it again, and now I've got the ends of the pen with the tip of the pen that come together, all right? That helps me keep count in my mind, all right? Not required, but it is something that I do, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've twisted it twice now, or 3 half turns, okay? And I've got this little extra bit down here, okay, because I didn't close it up beforehand, all right? the little bits of extra wire, that doesn't matter. All right, you can see it's just the bent end, the source end, and the other end. Okay. I didn't connect these because I need an in and an out.
And that's what's going to complete the circle.
That is correct. All
The
right.
second circle, yeah.
So this right here is your source end, becomes your negative end. Okay, the red end. This is where your source of energy is going to come from. All right, and this would be the positive end. Okay, and you would connect it in series. All right, with your 8. You can connect them together. Okay, in the same spot. All right, you see how I've got these kind of together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, as long as you connect them together and you put the source end.
You're joining, you're completing both the circuits by
That's
connecting
correct.
together.
All right,
You're
combining them.
Make the two, of the hydrogen and the
So
oxygen.
now you have 2 hydrogen, which is right here. Okay, you see the 2 field interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's actually 1 hydrogen element.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make another one of these. Okay. Notice I'm not measuring anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You
Some of
twist
our guys are
everything
lost
together.
in.
I'm just cutting. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, I think somebody got lost somewhere along the way. So it would be good, if you could backtrack a bit, like whenever you feel you could do that.
All right.
I guess on how you created the hydrogen one, and then how you created the oxygen. I guess you can run it over, but you're creating another one right now.
I'll draw it on the board. All right. When I get a chance here. Okay. Remember, I'm holding these ends. Okay. The 2 wire ends in my left hand again, guys. Reiteration. Okay. Holding it in my left hand. So now it looks like this. Okay. And again, you're going to twist it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And sometimes it'll get stuck on your finger if you're not careful. All right. Again, we have the in and the out.
Just hold that up against the white. There we go.
Okay. You can see the in and the out again. Look familiar?
Perfect. Yeah.
Looks like the ankh.
The ankh. Yeah, that's my tattoo right there, man. The ankh.
Okay. So now you're understanding why the shape of the Egyptians was important.
That's right.
Okay. Now, again, you're going to learn, okay, by your own practice, how to create these using 1 wire. Okay. 2 separate elements using 1 wire without cutting it. Okay. But I'm showing you that you've just created a hydrogen element, a second hydrogen element. Okay. Let's turn this over. All right. A second hydrogen element. So now you have H2, right? 2 hydrogen, right? H2 and O, 8 for oxygen. Okay. There are just 8 circles inside of that. Okay. This also has an in and an out. Now, do you understand the importance of bending the source wire?
Yes.
Okay. Because we want to attract hydrogen and oxygen at the same time, okay, to create water, you have to connect your positive, okay, your source wire with your other source wires. All right, so that they're all connected together in the same ones.
So it's parallel.
Yes, so that they're in parallel and not in series.
And just to make a point, if I could,
Mm-hmm.
when you say the source fire, I'm just trying to explain this for the people. You're basically saying that the source end is the end that where the energy starts from the left and flows to the right, right?
Say that a little bit slower for me.
Okay. You know when you do testing of wire and let's say sticks or whatever you want to test for the flow of energy, like from
Okay.
the root to the top of the plant.
All right.
Right. Like when I test, I check the resistance of my breath when I touch my forehead with the copper wire. And if
Mm-hmm.
the source end faces to the left and I touch my head, then you can breathe properly. But if it's faced the other way, you have a little bit of resistance. So that you start it with the other way around. So you're working from the left to the right because that's the energy flow.
Yes.
Because if you do it the other way, then you have a resistance.
Yes. Okay. Now, what you're trying to do, all right, is you're going to connect all of the pluses together and connect all the minuses together. That's all you're doing here. Okay.
Yep.
Nothing ecstatic, nothing crazy. You're just connecting all of the reds together, all of the pluses together, all of the gravitationals together, all of the ones that are moving to the right together. You guys see a trend here?
Yep.
All right. I'm only reiterating all of this stuff so that the people at home can understand that I am talking about the exact same thing. Okay? And I've simplified it. I've been able to simplify this down into a left or a right, a positive or a negative, okay, or a red or a blue, however you want to look at it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now I have this,
Wow.
okay?
Young.
But you see how and there's no specific way to do this, all right? Just attach all the positives together, attach all the negatives together, okay? They're identified still, okay? Even though you've taken that bend out of it, all right, to wrap it around. You see that circle there, right? Well, that's still my in, and that's my out, okay? You have to think of this in like a little flashlight beam or a laser beam that's constantly pointing outwards, constantly giving energy outwards, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to harness that energy by closing this loop up, all right? And when we bend it back into itself, it's like sending that energy beam back onto the railroad track, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're creating, and that's what infinity is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We got 10 minutes, okay? So now what you're going to do with this, okay, is you'll create your plasma battery, all right? This is only one side. Remember, it takes two to tango, okay? One water molecule doesn't do shit, okay? So you need to make a second one of these, okay?
Right.
Then you create like a CO2 kit,
Mm-hmm.
all right? And you use these, okay, as your plates,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then you put your capacitor ring, or we'll figure this out. I don't know yet, all right? I haven't delved down this avenue yet. That's why we've created this group, okay?
Sure,
So
sure. Yes.
if you
I
guys
think
take
I have
about,
some knowledge. I think I could add to that too. But later.
all right, let me get this out real quick. So before we end, we'll take about a 10-minute break, okay? So people can go to the bathroom, do whatever they need to do, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
If you want to, go ahead and make a second one, okay? Identical to this, or a third, or a fourth, or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're about to create magic, guys, okay? So
All right.
go ahead.
We'll see you in a bit.
No. You were going to explain something. We can talk until the
Oh.
time runs out. I don't like you getting into too much of heavy stuff. So for, I guess, the next 10 minutes, let's make these, all right? And everybody can, show me, is this right, or, okay? You're just making a scarecrow here, That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, if you recreate that, you need 2. Okay. You need 2 plates to create CO2, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, both of these need to be nano-coated.
Mhm.
Okay. Then they'll be connected just like the plates in series with your capacitor.
But the nano coated already with the ash you said, right?
Yeah, this one's already nano-coated. Okay.
Mhm.
But to me, what that means is that I can apply a voltage to it and it won't touch the copper wire. All right. If
When it's
the
nano coated.
voltage, if the voltage actually touches the copper wire, you get heat.
Mhm.
All right. And you don't want heat because you don't want to interact with the copper. Okay.
Right.
You want to interact with the nano coating.
Right.
Okay. So if you find yourself, dealing with maybe a short or something like that, it's generally because you've popped the surface of the nano coating and exposed the copper.
And tell us
Okay.
how do you differentiate when you know you broke your circuit or not?
Because it doesn't work.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And there's only one way that this stuff works. So, you're never wrong. Okay. You just have to take one step back and,
Right.
just kind of picture everything.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And, what we create with all of this stuff is ridiculously beautiful. I don't throw away anything. Inside of this little thing here is a reactor that I made out of copper tape. Okay. And you might be able to see just how shiny that is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you can see the Q-tips that I use to apply GaNs to some of my reactors.
Mm.
Well, I've got GaNs inside of this thing. All right. And I've got tubes of the Q-tips. Okay. That's what you see there. That's the tube, and it all points to the center. And each end here has GaNs on it. Okay. Instead of throwing away my Q-tips, I reused the energy. All right. You see how thin this is?
Yeah.
All right. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 field interactions on this. Okay. With the 9th one being the overall energy field.
Yeah. Right.
All right. And it's 2 sheets of paper thick.
Wow. Yeah. You
And
enclose them.
yeah, I just encapsulated them and I nano coated them. Now they've got an energy field that is sandwiching them. Okay. Inside of there. And that's what we're doing. We're layering. Okay. We're adding the layers to compound the elements. Okay. This is why we use plants and things like that. Okay. Because they have multitude of elements in there.
Right.
You don't have to go out and search out every individual element. When you make a nanomaterial out of that element, you're creating the concentric circles of all of the elements that are in there combined. So you have the combined field interactions, okay, bouncing around inside that little wall of a bubble of energy. All right. And that's what we're harnessing. That's the principal field energy that's bouncing around in there. That's the same energy that Nikola Tesla and Cash and all of these people are talking about utilizing. Okay. When you make an infinity device, especially one of these Q towers, we all connect together. Okay. We create a wireless power grid, a wireless health grid, a wireless communication grid, a wireless everything grid.
When you do what?
When you make these Q reactors or the MagGrav units. Okay. Each time you make one or somebody makes one of these, it's like turning on a cell phone tower out there in the world. Okay. Except it doesn't need wires. It doesn't need anything. It's like the Weidencliff Tower that Tesla built, except for it's this big, guys. And it's probably 1 trillion times stronger because we're using nanomaterial and light.
Right.
So you only need maybe 100 infinity devices out there that would cover an entire grid on the planet.
Wow.
Okay. So you don't have to teach the world. You just need to teach 100 people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they automatically are covered under this veil of love that we have created. And they get all of the same intents and the same healing energies and the same food and the same everything, you know? I've made my device over here, the one I showed earlier, I made it because I'm sitting directly underneath some high voltage power lines. My house is surrounded on 3 sides by high voltage power lines.
Right.
So I want to create an energy field, an induction energy field of the quantum nature, okay? And encapsulate those power lines that are above this lab that I've got, okay? And when I do that, those power lines will become nano-coated and they'll start to travel in both directions. Instead of one direction from my home, okay, where it'll go up to a junction and it'll choose a left or a right, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever path of least resistance is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, when I'm encompassing the center of the power lines here with that energy bubble, it's going both directions.
Open. Yeah.
So therefore, I nano coat twice the amount of people, twice the amount of wire, twice the amount of time, okay, or at half the time, okay, and that helps people, not me, but I mean, I'll have reduced energy, but or free, but it helps more people efficiently. So I don't have to go door to door and make 500 of these freaking power units.
Right.
You know, I can just nano coat their house. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to have a problem with it, especially when the entire area around me is receiving the same savings that I am,
Right.
or they will, and they won't understand necessarily why their energy bill is being depleted. Okay. And it's okay. This is my gift to them. I don't need recognition for this. Okay. But it's my gift to them. And when that happens, we all have a beautiful time. They're giving unconditionally. Okay. Because I only want to teach this stuff once. And when I get proficient in my teachings, I will only have to teach it once. And, we've got to have a team to build all this stuff together. And, as you're building your new water element or your water molecule, okay, you attract water from the atmosphere to your little devices, okay? And I would suggest that if you run, electricity through this, complete the circuit, guys, okay? This is just the plate, all right? You already know or should know how to complete the plasmatic circuit, okay, using the stuff that Kesh has been teaching, okay? Nano coding if you want to choose